Okay, some huge breaking news that could literally change the price of the medicine in your cabinet. Donald Trump just proposed a massive new tariff, and it's aimed at one of the world's biggest suppliers of pharmaceuticals. So what does a 100% tax on medicine actually mean for the US and for India? Let's break it down.
So this didn't come from some, stuffy press conference. The announcement dropped directly on Trump's Truth Social platform, just one post proposing a pretty shocking new tariff aimed squarely at the drug industry, and it sent shockwaves through global markets, like instantly.
And the number itself, wow, 100%. And no, that is not a typo. It's a policy that's literally designed to double the cost of certain imported medicines pretty much overnight.
So what does this 100% tariff shock actually mean in practice? All right, let's dive into the nuts and bolts of this dramatic new trade policy. Here's the core of it. Starting October 1st, 2025, the U.S. would slap a 100% import tax on branded and patented drugs. So imagine your company trying to import a drug. You'd suddenly have to pay a tax that's equal to the entire value of that medicine just to get it past the border.
But here's where it gets really interesting. There's a major catch, a specific carve-out. The tariff wouldn't hit companies that are already building or have solid plans to build manufacturing plants right here in the United States. The goal is crystal clear, right? It's a massive incentive to bring that production onshore.
And this whole build here or pay up strategy, well, it puts one country squarely in the crosshairs, India. The country they often call the pharmacy of the world.
To really get why this is such a potential earthquake, you have to understand one simple fact. For India's gigantic pharmaceutical industry, the United States isn't just another customer. It's the market, the biggest one. And it's not even close. Let's put some numbers to that. In all of 2024, Indian drug companies sold about $3.6 billion worth of products to the US. That's a huge number, right? Well, hold on, because in just the first half of 2025, they'd already sold $3.7 billion. Yeah, you heard that right. More than the entire previous year in just 6 months. This shows you the insane growth we're talking about, a growth that this tariff could just slam the brakes on.
And we're not talking about small-time operations here. Behind those billions are absolute giants, names you might even recognize, like Sun Pharma, Dr. Reddy's, Lupin, and Aurobindo. These are massive global players, and suddenly, they're all in a really, really tough spot.
Okay, so it's really important to understand that this pharma tariff isn't just some random one-off thing. Nope, it's a key piece of a much bigger, much more aggressive trade strategy.
Just look at this. At the very same time, Trump announced other tariffs, 50% on kitchen cabinets, 25% on heavy trucks. But that 100% pharma tariff, it just completely dwarfs the others. It's sending a message loud and clear about where the focus is.
And the plot thickens. This isn't even the first time Indian pharma has been hit with US tariffs. Some are already as high as 50%. This all fits a broader pattern we've seen, using tariffs as a tool for all sorts of things, whether it's punishing countries that buy Russian oil or even citing national security for taxes on products like trucks.
So you've got this huge economic threat looming. How is India, this global pharma powerhouse, going to respond?
Well, the official word from the Indian government was, let's just say, not subtle. They called the whole thing unfair and unreasonable. No mincing words there.
But beyond the official statement, you've got India's Export Council making a really practical point. They're basically saying, hey, US, you can't just replace this overnight. Their argument is that the US simply doesn't have the manufacturing scale. They figure it would take at least 3 years for America to even come close to catching up.
So this pressure basically puts Indian companies at a fork in the road. For the really big guys, they might go with option A, pony up the cash, build plants in the US, and get that exemption. But for the whole industry, this is a massive wake-up call for option B. Start looking for other customers and stop being so darn dependent on just one country.
When you step back, what you're seeing is a high-stakes global gamble. This policy creates very clear winners and very clear losers, and it's a huge bet on the future of the entire global healthcare supply chain.
At the end of the day, it really boils down to this clash of ideas. On one side, you've got the America First vision, bring jobs and manufacturing back home. But the risks on the other side, they're huge. We're talking about the potential for higher drug prices for Americans, massive disruption to the supply chain, and putting the squeeze on the very companies that make affordable medicine for the entire world.
This one move, this single policy, could completely redraw a trade relationship worth billions and affect the health of millions of people.
Which leaves us all with a massive question hanging in the air. Is this going to change the relationship between India and the US forever?